2 wins in just the last 4 seasons. Now that's coaching right there. Dabo Sweeney knows a thing or two about getting the max out of his team and at the same time getting terrific talent. Once again, he'll turn in a 2015 class that is going to be heavily utilized this year. We'll get into more of that in just a second. Clemson, a year ago, 10-3. And, of course, if you're a Sooner fan, you know what happened in the Russell Athletic Bowl, which we're not going to get into great detail to. I mean, why would I? I mean, Clemson, beat the pants off the Sooners 40-6 last December 29th. And that's about as much as I'll talk about it right now. But Clemson did have a nice season. They recovered from that opening season loss to Georgia and proceeded to win. They proceeded to win 10 of their last 12 games. Entering this year, Deshaun Watson, all eyes are going to be on him. He could be the ACC's #1 quarterback, despite the last year having some injury problems. As just a freshman, he did put up some nice numbers, 14 TDs, only 2 picks, over 1,400 yards through the air. But he only started 5 games, played only 8. Did not play in the bowl game. Of course, they didn't need him in the bowl game. But Watson had 2 major injuries, a broken finger, and then, of course, the big one later in the season, the torn ACL. But from all accounts, looks like he's recovered, should be ready to go. His receiving unit is going to be pretty darn good. You return 1,000-yard-plus receiver in Mike Williams, whom had 18 yards per catch. Could be his last year. He could vie for the NFL because he's a junior. He had over 1,000 yards receiving, 1,030, and he had 6 TDs and also, by the way, 57 receptions. Now, his partner in crime had nearly 1,000 yards receiving in Artavis Scott, a speedster. Get him in the open field. Watch out. That's trouble for the defense. 985 yards receiving, 8 TDs, and he had even more receptions with 76. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier when it comes to the 2015 recruiting class by Dabo Sweeney. I said that they could be playing some of these guys right away. 2 of them could be wideouts, Deion Kane and Ray McLeod, both from the state of Florida, and both could be ready to go. Remember, Clemson lost Aaron Humphries. He's gone. So even though you've already got 2 terrific receivers that are proven in Williams and in Scott, it doesn't hurt to have that extra depth. Remember, these 2 guys aren't going to be there forever. So if you get the 2 freshmen, the 2 diaper dandies in there now, or let's say worst case scenario, Williams and or Scott get hurt, then you've got 2 guys in there with valuable experience who might be able to handle the load. Running back Wayne Gallman, 769 yards a year ago, and he had his fair share of TDs a year ago. You have him back, but the running game was not Clemson's forte in 2014. Why, you ask? 88th in the country in rushing. Out of 128 teams, they only averaged 146 on the ground. This has got to be the big area of emphasis for the 2 new offensive coordinators who we did see in the bowl game for the first time calling the shots, Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott. Remember, Chad Morris is no longer there as offensive coordinator. I know Clemson fans hated that, as now he is the head coach at SMU. So you have Elliott and Scott calling the shots, and it's got to be a truly balanced offense because of the fact that Clemson really features that passing game. I know that Watson's a good athlete and could scramble out of trouble, but they're really going to need that offensive line who's so young, who we'll talk about in a second. They have to make sure that Clemson's just not doing this all the time, okay? Defenses will be able to snip that up and prepare differently. So what about this offensive line? They lose so many, and entering this summer, they thought they would have at least 2 players of experience back. Ryan Norton at center, and they thought Isaiah Battle at the left tackle would be solidified. Well, Monkey Rich got thrown into the Clemson plans. Battle, because he had off-the-field issues and also to some family matters, decided to leave and make himself a part of the supplemental draft. And by the way, he became the first player in the past 3 years, since 2012, to be selected in the NFL supplemental draft. St. Louis, the Rams under Jeff Fisher, took him. So Battle is gone, and now you're going to see some of the younger guys up front. Mitch Hyatt, one of their top recruits, looks like he's going to get involved in the mix at tackle. There is a little experience back. Joe Gore, looks like you'll have him entering his senior year. A lot of pressure will be on him at the right tackle spot. Or if they want to, if they so desire, move him to the left because he has more experience. Interesting to see how they'll handle the tackles between Hyatt and Gore. Jay Guillermo could see playing time as well. Eric McLean at left guard. Clemson, it's not that they're not talented up front. There's just not much experience, and there's really not a whole lot of depth either. They will really be the focus, especially as you get into those games in the middle part of the year where the injuries, where the the bruises, the bangs, bumps, or something more severe could become prevalent. Clemson's got to be more opportunistic in the red zone. That's really where this offensive line can come through and make a difference. Last year, they were just 110th when it came to scoring points inside an opponent's 20. Defensively last year, these guys were amazing. Brent Venables, of course, as a Sooner fan, I remember this guy. Coached some pretty good defenses. They were, often good. Sometimes they weren't. So far at Clemson, hey, he's made a difference. Just listen to this. 5th in the country in rushing D, only give up 103 yards per game on the ground. Wow. And then 2nd in the country in passing D, 157 yards per game. That's all they allowed. And number 1 in the country in total defense. Okay. Opposing offenses couldn't do much. Just 260 per game is all that Clemson allowed. Talk about defense. Talk about coaching. Talk about making a difference. Brent Venables, I give credit where credit's due, and he's done a great job in that regard. Secondary will probably be the biggest strength for the Tigers. As a freshman, Mackenzie Alexander became a terrific lockdown corner, one of the best in the ACC. You have him returning, and offenses definitely have to think twice before throwing toward his direction. Safety, Jaron Kearse, a junior, you have him back too. You do lose some production as far as the secondary goes, as Gary Peters and Robert Smith, although not drafted, have decided to venture in the NFL, but they were seniors anyway. Mark Fields, one of the highly talented freshmen on the defensive side for Dabo Sweeney's class of 2015, could see action at the other corner. Of course, true freshman could get thrown right into the fire. Biggest concern I would have for the Tigers is not the secondary. That's the strength. It's going to be the front 7 because so many seniors are now either in the NFL or if they weren't picked trying to make it to the NFL. That means Vic Beasley, Stephon Anthony, couple of first-round picks, Beasley an All-American. To say he's going to be missed, that would that compliment is almost laughable because it's more than the truth. It's the absolute truth. Vic Beasley's gone. I mentioned Anthony gone. So the current crop of linebackers. How about Ben Boulware, a junior? This guy, I think, was Mr. Intensity last year. Knows how to get involved in the play, but he plays with high emotion. That's what you want. And B.J. Goodson, you'll have him at the middle along with Boulware at the weak side. How many players did Clemson lose from that front 7? Quite a few. Mentioned Beasley and Anthony. How about Tony Stewart, 6th-round pick? 5th-round pick in the form of Grady Jarrett, and 4 other players from that front 7 that ran out of eligibility and are trying to make it on the next level. That's 8 players right there just from the front 7 alone that saw playing time last year for the Tigers that were seniors. So it's just one of those things where now Clemson has to rebuild, and in some cases they're really going to have to go from the ground up. Shaq Lawson, no, they don't have to worry about him. Lawson now becomes, I think, the leader of that defensive line. 4 sacks a year ago, and you'll have Christian Wilkins, another one of those 2015 signees that could play right away. You'll have Wilkins, and also 2 up front, DJ Reader, a lot of experience, back for 1 more year. He's a senior, and Carlos Watson also playing that interior. The schedule for Clemson, you can see many other key games are at home, but the conference opener is not. They got to play at Louisville on a Thursday night. That's a dangerous game against Petrino's squad at Papa John Stadium. But you do get a lot of time to prepare for Notre Dame, although not a conference game, a crucial game as far as the college football playoff resume for the Tigers. Notre Dame with Folston at running back, that's going to be a good test for the defensive line. In fact, the 2 games after that are going to be major tests because Georgia Tech's main running threat is, well, everybody, including the quarterback, Jordan Thomas. That'll be a tough game, even though you get him at home. And Boston College loves to play a power running game. So the health of that young defensive line and defensive front 7 for Clemson is going to be very important entering the second half of the season. How banged up are they going to be? And will they have enough proven depth as the season goes along to make it? Florida State, though, doesn't come until late in the year, but you get them at home. Last year, you had them beat. Let that one get away 2 years ago when they came to Death Valley. Florida State laid an absolute whooping on the Tigers. So we'll see if Clemson can snap that mini winning streak that the Seminoles have right now. Of course, Florida State, they rule the ACC. And in the year, you go, of course, to Columbia, South Carolina to play your hated intrastate rivals from the SEC. That's the Gamecocks. They finally beat South Carolina a year ago. snapping that long winning streak, but it's still been a while since Clemson has won on the road in that series. Look, I think the Clemson Tigers are going to be good. They've got enough talent, even though a lot of it's young. I still think they're capable of double-digit winning season. It's close, but I think Florida State, to me, until somebody can knock them from the ACC pedestal, it's still their conference. So I think they and Clemson are going to tie for the Atlantic Division Championship at 6-2, 10-2 overall. But because I think Florida State's going to win the head-to-head matchup, I look for Clemson to finish on the outside looking in as far as the ACC Championship goes. But I still think it's going to be a very good year for Dabo Sweeney's squad, despite a lot of the young faces. That's my look at Clemson. Catch you next time.